Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going over our top 5 best movies of 2017 so far. We're actually partnering with Max over at LazyMovieNerd on this video, so we're going to be sharing our best 5 of the year so far, and in the second half of this video he's going to be sharing his worst 5 of the year.
And after this video, on his channel, he actually has his best movies of the first half of the year, and that's where our list of our worst movies are. So after this video, if you want to go check that out, we'll link it in the description. So let's get into our top 5. Our number 5 best movie of the year is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, we had a lot of high hopes for this movie. If you check out our top 5 Marvel movies, you'll find that we both really love the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it was, spoiler, my top Marvel movie so far.
And we were really hoping that this one would be good because Marvel is hit or miss with their sequels. There's been like one good sequel and the rest have been pretty bad. So we were pretty pleased. We ended up really liking the movie. We thought it was really well done. It was hilarious.
Yeah, we both really enjoyed it, and I like that they delved into the characters' backstories a little bit more in this one without it feeling repetitive of the first one. It was just a really well done movie, especially for a sequel. So our number 4 pick was Get Out. I thought this was an excellent movie, especially for a directorial debut by Jordan Peele. Just astounding. I loved the, social commentary. I loved the way the suspense and the thrill was built up. It was just everything you want in a thriller.
Yeah, if you check out our worst list, we talk about how if you have a tonal shift in a movie where you're trying to be like really serious or dark and then funny, sometimes it's really bad. This movie does it really well.
Extremely well. Another movie that honorable mention for this year was Colossal, was also one that had a big tonal shift in it, but we think it was done really well. So it didn't make our top 5, but it is definitely an honorable mention. Great movie of this year.
Our number 3 pick for best movie so far this year is Baby Driver by Edgar Wright. And this movie was a surprise hit for both of us because we weren't very excited for it going into it.
I honestly had no interest in seeing this movie until everybody started talking about it, and I'm so glad you guys did. Thank you, because it was fantastic.
Yeah, I love his other movies, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, At World's End. I don't think there's been a single one that I haven't enjoyed, and I think you've enjoyed the ones you've watched too.
Yeah, I have. For some reason, I didn't used to be as critical about movies or pay as much attention to like directors and the groups of work they did. So I definitely think he's my new favorite director after Baby Driver, because oh my god, the way this was filmed. Like, I think if any other director had done this and filmed it in a different way, it would not have been that interesting. But the way that this was just shot and the way they did the music parts, it was just great. So after a lot of debate about whether this should be our number 1 slot or not, we ended up putting it at number 2, but it's a very, very close second for the year, and that is Wonder Woman, which was just the most delightful surprise after the failure of all the other DC Extended Universe movies.
All the other movies are a disaster, let's be straight.
And this was just great. Patty Jenkins is a genius, and Gal Gadot, fantastic. Everybody, great. Just, it's an amazing movie.
We went into this movie really hoping that it would meet our expectations. We're like, can we just not be bad? And this movie was actually really darn good. And our number 1 pick for this year is Logan. Oh my gosh, it was just, that movie stunned me.
It was fantastically done, and such a differently directed and written movie from all the rest of the X-Men's. Like, it definitely stands apart from the other X-Men movies. It's just a really great standalone movie, let alone one in that series.
We're starting to see this a lot more in the superhero genre, is actually good movies, and it's about time. I think it just shows what happens when you give a crew who really cares about an idea for a movie and just let them do it, and it turns out like this, and so far, I think it was one of the biggest successes of this year.
That wraps up our top 5 of 2017 so far, and now we're going to hand it over to Max for his worst movies of the year.
Thanks, Brittany and Steven, for having me in this video. I was going to have one of the cats participate, but nobody was in a video making mood. Their only contribution is the fact that I'm covered in cat hair now. And he's also... no. the hell? Now that we've explored the best of the last 6 months, let's dive into this pool of rancid vomit that was the worst so far. We've had some real doozies in the past 6 months. I kinda had a hard time picking the worst of the worst. This list may include some honorable mentions because I had a hard time keeping it at just 5 and want to cheat a bit. So we'll start at number 5 with Live by Night. It's a run-of-the-mill, unoriginal mob tale, but what stands out for being indescribably boring. In spite of having an amazing cast, this movie is less entertaining than watching Cheese Age. A plot that would be a third-tier Sopranos episode is stretched into a 3-hour-long snooze fest. Go rewatch any of the Godfather movies instead. At number 4 is Ghost in the Shell. How can you turn a remake of a brilliant classic anime piece into a turd? By having a ridiculously bad script that is nothing more than a lame remake of RoboCop. This movie had some beautiful visuals and nothing else. I'll give it a small plus for a cool beginning, but take it right back because the movie devolved into a boring mess quickly after. I'm going to add an honorable or dishonorable rather mention here. Rough Night. Like Ghost in the Shell, it stars Scarlett Johansson. And like Ghost in the Shell, it's a turd with sprinkles. There was a script at its core, but it ended up being an amalgamation of a bad Weekend at Bernie's remake and a bad college comedy. There's no way we're getting a Black Widow movie now, because Marvel would never take a chance on ScarJo after these masterpieces. Number 3, A Cure for Wellness. A movie that promised some interesting ideas in its trailer, but delivered a boring slog through a half-baked attempt at horror and suspense. The awful special effects in the final act were the cherry on top. The only mysterious thing about this film is why a talented actor like Oscar Isaac was signed on for this. And then there's a cringe-worthy ending that pushes the boundaries of bad. Don't watch this crap. At number 2 is XXX, Return of Xander Cage. To call what this movie had a bad script would be an insult to all the bad scripts past. As a writer, I feel personally affronted that garbage like this ever goes into production. The movie's cast seems like they were just going through the motions for a paycheck. One of the main characters was played by Ruby Rose. We know she can do better because she kicked some major ass in John Wick 2. And finally, number 1. I don't think that this one is a surprise at all. What movie could be on the spot other than Transformers 5? The Last Night? Spoiler alert, it's Mark Wahlberg. The story couldn't be less coherent if a 2-year-old on drugs wrote it. In addition, all the fans looking to see Optimus Prime were thoroughly disappointed, as he had maybe 15 minutes of screen time in a 2.5-hour-long movie. If the movie's sheer stupidity didn't give you a headache, then the inconsistent aspect ratio definitely did. Michael Bay used multiple types of cameras and didn't bother to edit the footage properly. So you see black bars appear and disappear again and again, sometimes multiple times in the same scene. Please, let there never be another one of these. So that's it for this year's stink pile. Back to you guys.
That was our and Max's best and worst movies of the year. Like we said, if you want to see what our worst movies were or what Max's best movies were, go over to his channel and check that out. And we'll link that in the description for you. If you enjoyed this type of video, please leave us a like or comment below letting us know what you like, or if you didn't like it, let us know as well. This is our first time collaborating with another YouTuber, and we'd like to thank Max once again for featuring us on his channel and for coming and doing some stuff for ours. And please subscribe to our channel if you want to see more stuff like this, and go over and check his channel out as well.
Like we said, we'll link Max's channel below and probably over here as well, and some of our other videos. If you are interested in watching any of the videos we did mention in this one, we'll have those listed somewhere around the video, whether it's down in the down bar or over here, so you can go check those out if you want to learn more. And we will see you in our next video.